I'm fine.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV. I'm out here in Saudi Arabia, delighted for the first time to be joined by MORI. Mark, you're in Saudi Arabia yourself. How are you finding it so far?
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect, but incredibly friendly people, amazing hospitality, so super safe, super fun. Yeah, I like it.
This card is heavyweight heavy, so we're going to have a little fun in this interview because there's so many heavyweights here, and it's going to be an absolute fun week. But you're up against Filip Hergovich. Now, when you look at Filip Hergovich, obviously the way he's sitting right now in that IBF ranking, there's more to this fight than just taking a scalp, and that's Filip Hergovich. I mean, have you thought that far ahead that it could be taking his ranking, and then the next thing might be the Joshua fight because he's next in line as well? So it's just there's so much on this than just beating Filip Hergovich, isn't there?
I think realistically, if I did beat him, which is the goal, I don't think that I would become number one contender because I don't think that they would sell me versus Fury Usyk or Joshua. But I think we'd do a rematch and the money would be a lot more than it already is, which is already massive. So don't get me wrong, I'm trying to knock him out, but I'm also realistic that knocking him out probably doesn't take his number one contender spot.
Well, let's talk about the knockouts because I think your last loss was against David Haye, I believe. What was that, 2017? 16. But then you went on this knockout run. It was only your last fight that you went the distance. So, and the last time you went the distance before that was, 10 years ago? So, Filip Hergovich, he can bang, he can knock people out as well. So, what kind of fight are we expecting here?
Yeah, so after the Haye fight, which was, anyone can call me a disaster, I was, but I was in horrible mental and physical shape for that fight. Now I'm having fun, I'm in a good mood, I'm looking to box. Basically, I had 12 fights since then, won 11 by knockout, and the 12th one I could have won by knockout, but I was fighting an Indonesian in his hometown and graciously created him as an Indonesian hero that night by letting him continue. But I went on a big run of knockouts. I was fighting journeymen. I'm not going to pretend I was fighting anyone people have got as a household name, but Hergovich has all the pressure. He's carrying the weight of a country on his shoulders, the IBF number one ranking. Everything's for him to lose.
More pressure on Hergovich in this fight than you, because obviously this is a big, massive platform for you as well, and you might be feeling a little bit of pressure in terms of the people that are on this card, and Joshua, Wilder, Big Baby, Dubois, Bivol. There's big names on this, so is there pressure on you as well going into this fight to impress everybody on Saturday night?
Not really. I couldn't care less. I was ranked in the top 10 of the WBA a couple of years ago. I lived in a village near Bosnia with 12 house cats and street cats, and walked through the forest all day and didn't even train properly for fights. So I couldn't care less. People at the local cafe didn't even know who I was because I didn't speak the language. So I really couldn't care about the exposure. I can care about the money and the opportunity and the fact that one day I will know that I took my shots. You know, when I was called to a gunfight, I loaded up and I went.
Good stuff. Now, you spent time in Croatia. You're fighting a big Croatian. We just spoke a little bit off camera there that I'm smaller than you. You basically told me don't go to Croatia because you'll be the smallest man there. Now, Hergovich is a big man. So what were you doing out in Croatia? Obviously, was it a training camp or were you living out there? What was the sort of backstory as to why you were in Croatia?
So my grandfather was born in Croatia. My father was born in Italy. So but they're all Mediterranean, the way they live in that side of Croatia and Italy. So I went there. I was married to a Croatian girl. We went over there and stayed for 10 years. I loved it over there. But yeah, if you want to be tall, don't go to Croatia because the average man's about 6'1", and I think they've got the tallest 18-year-olds in the world. So it's a very genetically gifted part of the world for all types of sports and height.
I knew it was shit being Scottish, honestly. 5'9", that's what we are. I'm probably the tallest guy in Scotland, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, you've lived in Croatia. You've got Croatian blood. Are we going to see some shit talk in Croatian at the press conference?
No, I can speak the language in the basics, but honestly, I've got nothing against him as a human being. A lot of people in Croatia are messaging me saying they hope that a lot of guys there remember me, saying they hope I knock him out. They're not fans of his. So I think for him, it's not only his career, but he's trying to regain the trust of the people after a few strange fights and things like that. But no, there's not going to be any animosity or shit talk. I wish him the best, and you know, after the fight, you know, good luck to him. Whatever happens, if I win or I lose, I hold no animosity. This is now a game to me.
Well, obviously, when you look at Hergovich, right, obviously you're going to look at his past fights, and maybe a lot of people, especially us in the media, fight fans, will be looking at Hergovich and be like, is he getting old? Is he past his best? Is this the right time for you to get to him? Because he hasn't looked the best, maybe, in his own words, the best fighter. But is this the right time for you to get to Filip Hergovich?
Well, sometimes you get guys and they want to make a statement all of a sudden. It's not the right time. But yeah, did he look good in his last few performances? From casual view, I would say no. But from a hardcore boxing guy, I would say he's probably learning to slow down, fight more like a professional and use the full distance. Whereas you look, he fought Tony Yoka in the Olympics, he lost, and he's been much more successful than Yoka as a professional because he's trying to adapt to a longer fight. I mean, you know, it's a 10 to 12 round fight. Amateurs is a 3-round sprint. It's a different scoring system. So I think he's just sitting down a little bit more, taking his time, wearing the guys down. Plus, I think he fought a few better fighters. If you know, like guys like Kevin Johnson and Journeyman, they might not be trying to win out there, but they can make you look awkward. And in his last fight, I think it was interesting. Hergovich probably didn't win as easily as I thought he would, but that Zhilei Zhang...
Your countryman, right? His last
yeah,
fight.
Australian, yeah. But that big Chinese guy, Zhilei Zhang, he's brilliant. So I wouldn't say that Hergovich didn't perform well. I just think that Zhang is incredible. I think he's got probably second to Wilder, the craziest power in the heavyweight division.
Can I talk to you about Australian boxing right now? Because like you've got Jai Apataya, who I'm really excited. I really like that guy. You had Liam Paro last week, and I think it was San Francisco against Montana, a big knockout. What's happening in Australian boxing right now? Where we're getting Tim Tszyu as well. We're getting these fantastic fighters coming out of Australia. Has it been a sleeping giant for so long?
So I turned pro in 2004.
So you're the original. You're the original.
There were 3 registered heavyweights in the whole country. Now there's about 50. I was getting offered peanuts to fight. I was lucky if I got paid. It was honestly abysmal pay, and you just did it because you loved it. And since then, I've been away 10 years. I've come back, but it's not just Tim Tszyu and those guys. Also, rugby players turning to boxing has made it popular. But now these guys are making real careers, and we're producing world-class fighters. So it's pretty amazing what happened in the last 10 years. I left Australia because there was no money, no opportunity, and now I come back, and it's huge.
So I mean, you might have a target on your back for these young heavyweights coming through then to maybe take a scalp. But let's talk about the card itself, because like I said to you before at the start of this interview, it's heavyweight heavy with Joshua and Wilder and Dubois and Wallin and Parker. Now, we look at the 2 fights at the top, there's going to be a lot made about Joshua and Wilder. But I'll ask this question to you, because I know you're in the division, you're a fight fan, you're a boxing fan as well. I'll ask this question to you. Who has the toughest fight, Joshua or Wilder?
I think stylistically, I think Joshua has a tougher fight. The reason I say that is because as good as Parker is, I believe he's going to walk into one of those right hands, because Wilder looks incredible in his training videos. I think Malik Scott's taken him to a new level as a trainer. And I think Parker looked better in his last fight, lost a bit of weight, got a bit sharper, and Andy Lee's done a great job. I just think style-wise that Wilder's going to stop him. Whereas Wallin is very durable. He's got good stamina, and he's very awkward being a southpaw. I'm still going to pick Joshua to win. However, Wallin, as we saw, gave Fury a great fight, and since then he couldn't really land any big fights because we kind of forgot about the guy. You know, he's like so good, no one wanted to fight him. So now he's finally got a big opportunity, and we saw him today doing a little bit of training after we finished warming up. And very nice guy, very friendly guy, very polite guy. He doesn't seem like a killer in there, but he's a professional, and I think he's going to try and wear Joshua down. And it's going to be, for me, that's the harder fight.
Well, he's known as a Viking as well. I think Wallin, he's up there as well. But one final one from me before I let you go over to Charlotte over there. Like I said, the heavyweight division's booming right now. We're getting the fights are getting made. We're close to getting Wilder Fury. We've got Joshua, Wilder, Josh. There's too many names, there's too many fights. We're close to getting Joshua Wilder, and we've got Fury and Usyk in February. Now, a win for you against Hergovich puts you up there. You might get the rematch like you just said there. So what can we expect from you on Saturday night?
I'm going to walk out there, and I'm going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to try and knock this guy's head off his shoulders. I'm going to try and put his ribs through his lungs, and if I'm unsuccessful, I'm going to shake his hand, and it's okay. I'm just going to go out there and have a lot of fun and try and be as violent as possible.
See, that's a scary, scary little sentence there. I'm going to have fun and scary at the same time. Listen, my absolute pleasure to speak to you, big man, and good luck Saturday. No doubt I'll see you throughout the week, but good luck Saturday, my man. Thank you.
I'm fine.